Georgia, there's so many wonderful places that we went to. It's like Colorado. It's like huge mountains and river and Guri that goes really fast. I'll tell you, even though I lived in a communist country, I had pretty good childhood. My dad was engineer. He was building roads and buildings. And my mom stayed home first 20 years of our childhood. She took really good care of us. I went to good schools. I lived in a good neighborhood. My dad's parents were the city people, and my dad's father was high-ranked communist. He was chief of police. My grandfather believed in the Communist Party, but my father was completely opposite, and they were fighting, they were arguing. I loved fashion since I was, little girl, because when I used to spend a lot of time with my grandma, both grandmas, and my grandma from my father's side, she was this fashionista. And she taught me how to crochet and how to sew, because I remember her sewing machine. I sit next to her and she'll show me. And it was same with my other grandma. I was a good student. And I was very strong at technical subjects. I really loved buildings and I loved architecture and art. I do love the nature. I love the mountains. I love hiking, and I'm really good at physics. Well, how can I apply that? Geophysics. So geophysics is studying the mountains, the minerals, earthquakes, and it was the best university in Tbilisi where I studied for 5 years. I got a job at Institute of Geophysics. In 91, in Georgia, there was like a big chaos and the turmoil. We fought for independence. Soviet Union collapsed. My ex-husband had an opportunity as an architect to bring the sculptures here. And I told him, why can't you stay there and see how things work out? Me and my son joined him. We arrived to United States in 91. As soon as I got out of the airport and found a place to stay, I was like, where is the fabric stores here? And I went to the fabric stores and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, there's so much you can do here. And I went on the 38th Street fabric stores and so much trim and color and fabric. And I was just starting having a dream of becoming a fashion designer. From the day one, I came to United States. That was my huge dream. I arrived with $100 in my pocket with 5-year-old son. So I started sewing at the dry cleaners, and my salary was $200 a week. I was so excited that I had a job, and then my $200 went to $300. My $300 went to $350 because I was working hard. When I was working really hard and making and creating and selling clothing, I could see huge potential, but I felt that I was not doing it on a high level, on a sophisticated level. So I asked around, and people said, Fashion Institute of Technology is the great school you can go to. I went at nights and I studied pattern making, I studied fabric science, I studied fashion design. When I graduated in 1995, I went and applied for a job as a pattern maker so that I can really learn at work how to make clothing. And I learned by asking questions, working with some Italian pattern makers that were very good craftsmen in the industry. My career kept going and going up with like more and more responsibilities because I was doing such a great job. And I was sent by companies to train people overseas. I had to train the factory how to create the clothing, how to interpret our comments, how to, do the fitting and the construction. I had like 50 people from different factories come to my seminars to teach them how to construct the clothes, how to interpret the technical packages. Those are like really gorgeous. So I created this one to the postman in Georgia. I thought it was cute, isn't it? I like the clothing that are very well structured, architectural, and very well tailored, and portrays the strength and the power. Because I grew up with a very powerful people, with my grandparents and my mom. I had lots of respect for the women that work really hard, and I really loved the women in the suits, very polished, sophisticated, and high quality. I am grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I'm happily married and I have a really great husband, Craig, very supportive and funny and smart, super smart. I am most proud of my son. He took like 7 exams to get the architecture license, and he married a fantastic girl who's also very intelligent. And I have 2 fantastic grandchildren. And having them living their lives, raising family, raising wonderful grandchildren, that's my greatest accomplishment. That makes me most happy. I do what I love. I do my fashion design and my teaching, and I have great support system. I want to keep it small. Create what I believe in small quantities.